about is where is the wonder in mathematics? And at its foundation, mathematics is about solving problems. But whose problems are our students solving? Wrestle with that for a little bit. Teachers' problems, the curriculum's problems, the textbooks' problems. Very inspired by Alfie Kohn, myself, and he just recently published an article on whose questions, and talking about the importance of eliciting students' questions to create authentic learning experiences for your students. If you haven't seen this YouTube video, it's an ad for Google, but it's called A Question Waiting to be Answered. And the inventor of the Rubik's Cube talks about how in traditional schooling we taught the answers to questions, but how schooling needs to change so that we're inspiring students to ask questions. The ad continues to talk about how the world is not a place to be memorized, but it's a place to be figured out. And math is a language and a way of being in the world that helps us make sense of the world around us, and we want that for our students. Another author that I read often is Pernille Ribb, and she says that school can no longer just be done to our kids. They must experience and own it. And what are we doing as teachers to turn our classroom environments over to our students, to be agents of change and of their own education? As a classroom teacher, you're the teacher, students are teachers to each other, but the classroom environment is also considered a third teacher. So what are we doing within the classroom to inspire wonder and questioning and inquiry? As teachers, we also need to be brave and be vulnerable and model that stance of inquiry for our students. We need to create cultures of thinking and learning and sharing in our classrooms. Okay, pause. So, in our classrooms, what openings are we creating for wonder and inquiry? What opportunities do you provide for students to ask their own questions about mathematics, or that they can use mathematics to investigate an idea or a concept that they're interested in? There's lots of different starting points for inquiry. It could be the mathematics itself that stimulates a student. Mathematically modeled materials or structured materials, a photograph, sports, the architecture of Abu Dhabi might inspire you. So it's very simple pedagogical structures that I use with students to inspire questions is asking them to notice and wonder about something. Another really simple structure is providing them with two graphs or two shapes and asking them how they're the same and different, and that will inspire their questions. This is an example from a grade 2-3 classroom that was investigating bubbles as a science study, and we asked them, what do you wonder about bubbles? And all sorts of mathematical questions came up for those students that they uncovered mathematics with. This is a grade 5 and 6 class that was visiting the Steveston Harbor here in British Columbia, and they were trying to connect to place and think about what questions they were wondering about the place that they live and go to school, and then giving these students an opportunity to actually investigate those questions. A starting point is also providing an image, whether it's an illustration from a book or a photograph. This is from Ben's Dream, and it's landmarks around the world, and the students were able to investigate the questions they had about those landmarks. Ralph Pantosi and I, he's a great secondary teacher from New York City, we had a Twitter discussion about this, and he takes from a database traditional math problems, and he just leaves off the question. So he provides the context to the students, and then asks them for what questions they might want to answer. My boys, I have two sons, they grew up on Mythbusters. I love Mythbusters. And one of the things I love about them is the mindset that they bring about being playful and curious and trying to figure out the world around them. And I think our math classrooms need to be more like that. And playfulness isn't just about playing with materials or objects. It's also about playing with ideas. And so where do you create opportunities for your students to play with mathematical ideas? As a teacher, you need to throw the ball back at their students and encourage and enhance their mathematical thinking when they throw things out. Because we know through mathematical inquiry, students make math-to-math connections, they uncover the curriculum, and it also develops a stance of inquiry in our students. You may be familiar with Rachel Carson. She's a very famous environmentalist. And her beautiful book, A Sense of Wonder, talks about how a student's sense of wonder that they're born with gets squashed out of them as they come into teenagehood and adulthood. And we need to nurture that sense of wonder. So I'm throwing the ball out to you and asking you as math educators, what are you wondering about, and how will you bring that stance of inquiry to your classrooms? Thank you.